here, I've been helping CKD patients taking control of their health for more than a decade now. What I've learned during these years is that there is no improving if you are not eating right for your kidneys. There is no avoiding kidney failure without the right diet. And this is a fact. Not even the best doctors, not even the most advanced treatments can save you from kidney failure if you don't eat the right foods. This is why today, the renal diet is considered the cornerstone of the treatment for CKD. The diet is what makes the biggest difference. To prove this, we have seen how stage 5 CKD patients got out of dialysis just by following a better diet. Yeah, we know that this can be done, but most CKD patients are still confused today. They don't know what to eat.
Getting your renal diet right is the cornerstone of kidney health, but it's not always easy to do. I've had many patients that improved once they found out that a simple mistake was holding them back. Want to get started on the fast track to a better kidney function? Send me an email at catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com or click the link in the comments.
Never go one day without taking these 7 vitamins if you have kidney problems. Vitamin C, it's your shield against anemia. Vitamin E, incredibly powerful antioxidant, a must for diabetes. Vitamin K2, the ultimate hidden miracle. It literally sucks calcium out of your blood vessels to put it in your bones. Folic acid, this is your kidney's armor. It slashed kidney decline by a jaw-dropping 55% in a huge trial. Vitamin B12, you need a plant-based diet to beat CKD. But plants don't have vitamin B12. Never skip this one. Vitamin D, the one crucial nutrient up to 80% of kidney patients are desperately starving for. And the bonus, CoQ10. Human trials literally show it zapping failing kidneys back to life. Why are you not supplementing it? Now, some good news. You don't need to swallow a mountain of dangerous mismatched pills. All 7 of these and more are packed into Rena Best in the exact clinical grade doses that are 100% safe for your kidneys. Don't gamble your health on a generic multivitamin. You only want the best for your kidneys, and you want Rena Best.
So what is the answer to the question, what do we eat? Well, this is what we will find out today. Because while every single kidney disease patient will benefit from a diet that is full of fruit and veggies, very low on protein and sodium, and with as little processed food as possible, no 2 CKD patients should follow the same identical diet. So this is what I want to focus on today. The foods that are right for you and you only. And what are these foods, you may ask? Well, it depends on your complications and comorbidities. In order to make sure your diet is perfect, today I will focus on the other issues most people have in combination with CKD. I will show you the best foods for diabetes, for high blood pressure, for swelling, for uric acid and gout, and for high cholesterol levels and for inflammatory forms of the disease. This way, you will be able to personalize your diet as best as possible, because the diet that works for you is the key to beat CKD. But don't worry, it's going to be really easy because all the foods we are going to see today are great for everyone suffering from CKD, but they will offer extra benefits for people suffering from these other issues I've mentioned. So the video is going to be divided in sections, alright? In case you want to jump to a specific issue, you can use the timestamp function of YouTube down in the description to navigate the video. Okay, let's start now. I have a lot of foods to share with you today. Let's start with the foods that will help with diabetes. What foods are a must in a diet for CKD and diabetes? Today, if you have diabetes and CKD, you should follow a plant-based diet, alright? You will want to eat lots of fruit and veggies and to avoid meat and other animal-based foods. And obviously, avoid foods with added sugar. When I say added sugar, I mean processed foods that contain sugars and syrups that are added during processing. You don't need to avoid fruit that contain sugar naturally with diabetes, alright? Just added sugar. And while, as I was saying, most fruit and vegetables are great for you, there are some foods that can really make a positive difference with diabetes, especially okra. Okra, also known as ladyfinger, has huge benefits for diabetes because it decreases sugar absorption in the digestive tract, leading to a more stable blood sugar response. It's one of the few foods that can actually lower your fasting glucose levels. If you just add it to your diet, it's an incredibly powerful effect, as this review of studies tells us. So add okra to your diet if you have diabetes. And okra is also super healthy because it's an excellent source of vitamin C and other antioxidants, and also magnesium and fiber, while being low on calories. Just keep in mind that okra needs to be cooked on high heat by sautéing, for example, if you don't want it to become slimy. Another great food you absolutely want on your table in order to fight diabetes is bitter melon. Now, this unsung hero of the produce aisle is a true game changer when it comes to diabetes. This food is also known as bitter gourd or ampalaya. Bitter melon is super easy to find in Asian markets, and it has a long history as a natural diabetes treatment. Just like okra, this veggie blurs the lines between normal foods and actual natural medicine. Because while you can use it in your normal cooking, bitter melon has amazing benefits. In this study, diabetes patients who were eating bitter melon daily not just had a significant decrease in body weight and in HbA1c levels, as we can see, they also protected their kidney function. In fact, their creatinine didn't increase during the study, while that of diabetes patients who weren't taking bitter melon did. Yes, eating this one before meals can make a serious difference with diabetes and kidney disease, and it proves, once again, that the diet is your best ally against kidney disease. Another food that could produce an incredible result with diabetes is cinnamon. Cinnamon is amazing for diabetes. It can directly improve insulin sensitivity. According to studies, cinnamon can lower fasting sugar levels by 10 to 29%, which is very significant. So make sure this spice is a regular on your table. And I get that these three foods are not enough for planning your diet, but don't worry, I've made a full video about the diabetes diet. It's up here and also down in the description. Up next, what foods are a must for someone with high blood pressure? High blood pressure is even more common than diabetes in those with CKD because CKD itself can cause it. Following a diet that fights hypertension is a must for every single patient. So the main focus here is to avoid consuming too much sodium. So avoid processed and packaged foods, and also make sure you drink enough water every day and that you avoid animal-based foods and anything containing added sugar. Now, like for diabetes, there are foods with medicinal properties that are a must for people with hypertension. First of all, garlic. Garlic is tremendously healthy. I've recommended it a million times, and not just because it lowers blood pressure with an effect comparable to that of hypertension medications. Garlic also helps with diabetes, inflammation, cholesterol. You can consider it a food. You can consider it a natural medicine, but you shouldn't go without it if you have kidney disease. Another food to consider for blood pressure, almonds. Almonds are an amazing superfood. They are great because they are so rich in magnesium. Magnesium is key for kidney health. It fights high blood pressure, lowers inflammation, and fights diabetes. Unfortunately, having a deficiency in this nutrient is just as common as it is dangerous, and it will directly cause hypertension among other things. So, eat more almonds. Now, when it comes to magnesium, I usually also recommend taking a supplement, especially if you also supplement vitamin D, which is something everyone with CKD should do. Another great food for hypertension, beets. Beets are, in my opinion, one of the healthiest veggies out there, a must for kidney patients because they really help lowering blood pressure. Beets are naturally high in nitrates, a very powerful vasodilator that will lower your blood pressure while helping the heart doing its job. Okay guys, time to take a look at another common problem for CKD patients that can be helped with the diet, swelling. Swelling is common because it is caused by fluid and sodium retention. So when it comes to the diet, the first thing you want to do to manage swelling is to drink more water and consume less sodium and phosphorus. Obviously, the recommendation about water intake is only valid if you don't have a fluid allowance. And there are also foods with diuretic properties that will help you get rid of this excess fluid. One is asparagus. Asparagus is not just a super tasty vitamin powerhouse, it's actually a natural diuretic, which is very useful in order to help the kidneys do their job and to reduce swelling. which makes asparagus one of the best friends of your kidneys. And this benefit is strongly supported by science, by the way. Now, being asparagus a natural diuretic, it will also help with blood pressure, and that's a nice added benefit. My advice with asparagus is to eat it raw if possible. Just grate some asparagus and put it in a salad. I'm telling you this because high temperatures and water can damage some of the nutrients in this superfood. Another food you can add is parsley. Okay, this is more of a spice, but it has powerful diuretic properties, maybe even more powerful than asparagus. In fact, parsley has been used in traditional medicine for ages to help increase urine production. And today's science confirms this property. While some people use parsley to make tea, I usually recommend to use this spice in moderation, maybe just as a garnish. One more food with diuretic properties is ginger. Ginger has incredible kidney protecting benefits. It fights diabetes, high blood pressure, and it can even relieve nausea. Ginger can also help with swelling. So make it a part of your diet. You can consume it raw in small pieces, or you can use it dried as a spice. A very important property of ginger. Ginger is also a powerful anti-inflammatory. Never underestimate this property. So let's talk about inflammation, because there are some other foods that can help with this issue I want to share with you today. These foods can really help people with forms of chronic inflammation and inflammatory diseases, and they can also help with everyone with kidney disease, because keep this in mind, the inflammation plays a major role in the progression of kidney disease. So what foods will protect the kidneys from inflammation? First of all, turmeric. This root is a must in a renal diet. Turmeric improves blood flow by increasing nitric oxide production and protecting the kidneys. It's also a powerful antioxidant. It helps with diabetes. But most of all, the curcumin in turmeric is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories out there. It is so powerful, it can be used to help with chronic forms of pain, reducing the need for NSAIDs that are known to cause kidney damage. Just keep in mind that you won't absorb curcumin alone very well. You need to add black pepper for it to work. The way I usually do this is by making a golden milk with turmeric, black pepper, ginger, and more. Another thing I would add to this anti-inflammatory golden milk, olive oil. Olive oil is really healthy for everyone, especially if you can find extra virgin olive oil. Just 2 tablespoons a day of extra virgin olive oil have shown to improve HDL cholesterol levels in recent studies and to help with insulin sensitivity. This superfood also boasts great anti-inflammatory properties. Olive oil is so powerful when it comes to reducing the inflammation. Its effect is comparable to that of certain NSAIDs when taken regularly, just without the kidney damaging part. Olive oil will in fact protect your kidneys, just like flaxseed. Now, flaxseed comes with an amazing benefit. This small seed is incredibly powerful against inflammation. Eating flaxseed regularly protects the kidneys, especially in those with inflammatory kidney disease. There are studies showing that flaxseed can improve GFR in this case. This is why flaxseed is one of the most recommended seeds for people with kidney disease. Just keep in mind that you need to grind flaxseed before consuming it, or you can buy flax meal instead. Flaxseed is also rich in omega-3 fatty acids. This essential nutrient can also help you with another condition that often plagues CKD patients and that can cause serious trouble for your heart and kidneys. I'm talking about cholesterol. Now, this is a seriously underrated issue for people with kidney disease. High cholesterol levels are often present in those with diabetes as well, and people tend to focus only on the bigger issue of the two. Don't do that. High cholesterol is one of those health markers that should never be overlooked if you care about your heart and kidneys. Now, when it comes to the diet, cholesterol is mostly controlled by avoiding saturated and trans fat intake. What not many people know is that added sugar is also very bad for your cholesterol levels, so always avoid that as well. Now, the question is, what are the best foods out there for people with kidney disease and high cholesterol levels? Well, what I always recommend are foods rich in soluble fiber. Oats are a great example. When you eat oats, beta-glucan, the special fermented fiber in this superfood will form a gel-like substance that's a magnet for bad cholesterol, especially. Science tells us that eating oats regularly can really help with cholesterol levels. And you can also supplement soluble fiber, for example, by taking acacia fiber. When it comes to cholesterol, something else that can help is eating Apples. Apples are a nutrition powerhouse when it comes to lowering your cholesterol levels and protecting the kidneys. They contain a carbohydrate called pectin, which latches onto cholesterol in the intestine and helps to flush it out of your body. Remember that most fiber, pectin included, is only present in the peel of the fruit, so don't peel your apples. Now, a combination of foods that can make a difference: garlic plus lemon. I have already recommended both these in this video, but if your goal is to lower your cholesterol levels, consider taking garlic and lemon at the same time. This is one of those combinations in which the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Now guys, cholesterol can be a big issue, but there are natural supplements that can really help. One is red yeast rice. Red yeast rice is not just an alternative to statins. This is actually one of the few supplements on earth that was ever studied as a way to actually repair the damage inside the kidneys. Okay, time to take a look at the foods that will help with high uric acid levels. If you've ever heard of uric acid, it was probably in relation to two unpleasant conditions: gout and kidney stones. Uric acid is considered the culprit of both of those ailments. Now, when it comes to decreasing uric acid levels, the first step is always to avoid foods that are high in purines. These include meat, especially organ meat, seafood rich in mercury, sugary foods, and also beer and alcohol in general. Always avoid them. What you want to include in your diet is, first of all, cherries. Research suggests that cherries might reduce the risk of gout attacks. Eating cherries for 2 days lowered the risk of a gout attack by a whopping 35% compared with eating no cherries. They work especially well if you also take allopurinol, an anti-gout prescription. And also citrus fruits, especially lemon, as lemon juice contains citric acid, a solvent of uric acid. Adding it to your daily diet is helpful in preventing high uric acid level. Squeeze half lemon in a glass of water and have it every day. Or even better, add organic lemons with the peel to your smoothies. Berries, especially strawberries and blueberries, are also great in a case of high uric acid levels. And rich with anti-inflammatory properties, including them in your diet is very beneficial. Okay guys, this was our last one for today. If you want to know more about great foods for CKD, this video up here is for you. And if you want to know what to drink, I've also made a video about that. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye!